To give you a heads up on an opera that is being live streamed by the Teatro alla Scala, the La Scala Opera House, in just 2 hours' time from now at 7:45 p.m. in Europe, 1:45 p.m. on the East Coast, and 10:45 a.m. on the West Coast. The opera is Nino Rota's Il cappello di paglia di Firenze, which means roughly the Italian hat. It's based on a play, a French play by Eugène Labiche and Marc-Michel called Un chapeau de paille d'Italie, which is a straw hat from Italy. And you will see a lot of French signs and things, signposts and all of that in the opera because it's based on this French opera. In fact, I can show you some of the scenery that they're using for this thing. It's really terrific. It reminds me of I was in a production of Kiss Me Kate at the Châtelet Theater back in 2016, and the director did amazing things with the scenography. Like, here's one example of the scenography of the play, and here's another example. Here's yet another one. Fait de beaux rêves, fadinard, and that means pleasant dreams, fadinard. Anyway, you can't see any of that on Instagram because I have to live stream separately on Instagram. I can't. The system doesn't work that I use to live stream on other places. Anyway, so what is it now? It will cost you €9.90 to watch this, or $11 US. You have to register with your email, but you don't have to pay to register. But after you've registered, you do have to pay to watch the productions of La Scala. And I'll tell you a little bit about the story in case that tempts you. It's a romantic comedy in which a problem is mixed in with a marriage. And you know the marriage has to succeed in the end, or it's not a romantic comedy. And it starts out with there's the bridegroom is named Fadinard. And Fadinard is nervous because he's getting married later that day. So in the morning, he takes a ride out to the park. Well, while he's doing that, his horse just happens to find a straw hat and starts to eat it up. Well, he doesn't think much of it, so he just takes off and goes home. But after he gets home, he gets a visit from this young married woman who was in the park. It's her hat, who was in the park having a little tryst with the military officer that she's sort of involved with, who is not her husband. Anyway, and she's got to get the hat back, or else her husband will be suspicious. And so the military officer says, Fadinard, you got to find that hat and replace it, or else you have to fight a duel with me, in which case Fadinard, of course, is going to get killed because he can't fight this guy. Now, this leads to a whole series of riotous events involving the entire wedding party, following Fadinard around from place to place while he's trying to find this hat. And one scene after another where people in different families and different situations are suspecting each other of being unfaithful. So it's very French. So anyway, it's now it's being performed not by the resident company at La Scala, but by the lyric opera soloist of the Teatro alla Scala Academy. So this is what they would call their stars of tomorrow, and the orchestra is the Teatro alla Scala Academy Orchestra. It's directed by Mario Ocampo, and the conductor is Donato Renzetti, whom they tell us is an expert, specializes in helping budding young talents rise to the full limits of their capabilities. So that's at 7:45 here in Europe, which is 1:45 p.m. on the East Coast. I think 10:45 a.m. on the West Coast. Show up or blow up for that. Here at Access Arts Live, we'll be back in probably about 45 minutes at 6:30 European time, 12:30 on the East Coast, 9:30 on the West Coast, before the opera starts, because I promised you I'd do another live stream about some of the avant-garde and individual composer and performer recitals and concerts that are going on this weekend that I couldn't fit into the weekly roundup yesterday. So follow us for that if you like. And remember, if you like this video, if you're interested in seeing this opera, we're going to repost this stream to all of the opera pages or opera groups that we know of, but that's a limited number. Please do repost it to other people you know who love opera in case they want to catch this one, because I don't think it's every day that you get to see the Chapeau de Paille d'Italie performed by the Teatro alla Scala, even if it's just the youngins. So ciao for now, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in just a while.